terror does do something to your nervous system. Your body doesn't exactly know, your brain knows you're pretending, your brain knows you're imagining, but your body, if I'm recreating that I'm hyperventilating, odds are, because that's my skill set, is I have to really do it. I don't know how to simulate it. Okay. So I'm really hyperventilating. Yeah. And so that's not great for the nervous system. But I still love doing it more than anything.
Thank you to our presenting sponsor, Peloton. Let yourself run, lift, flow, and go. Explore the new Peloton cross-training Tread Plus at onepeloton.com. Reclaiming is brought to you by Audible. If you're a regular to Reclaiming, you've probably heard me going on about Audible. Well, let me explain why. It's totally transformed my downtime in the best way possible. Because those moments in your day where you can't just rest, like when you're stuck in traffic or folding laundry, listening to Audible has made them so much more enjoyable. No joke, since I started listening on Audible, these little chunks of my day have actually become something I look forward to. For example, the other day, I was just doing my usual Sunday tidying and organizing, which usually drives me crazy, but I barely noticed the time passing because I was so hooked on this incredible audiobook. And as a member, you get access to thousands of included titles, books, podcasts, all that good stuff. So sign up for a free 30-day trial, and your first audiobook is free. Visit audible.com/reclaiming. That's audible.com/reclaiming. Welcome to Reclaiming, Sarah.
I'm so happy to be here. It's so great.
Oh, this is so nice. I was thinking about, you truly have one of the most kaleidoscopic personalities. And I'm just so excited.
Thing to say.
But I'm so excited to chat with you. And also because I think it's been... I feel like we haven't had time. We haven't had a real, I think we had a mini catch up when I saw you in Appropriate.
Yes.
But that was...
And then before that, it had been
a long time. I know. So we are overdue for...
So we might as well do it publicly.
Exactly.
Let's have it publicly. Just put pins in everything we want to talk about
exactly.
later.
I'll just wait.
I'll be like, that's for After Dark. You know what I mean? That's for the After Dark episode.
I was thinking about, so I think we first met at the Vanity Fair Oscar party. It would have been 2008.
I think
maybe 2019.
I think it was 2018.
I
think you're right. Yeah.
But I feel like we didn't really connect until Impeachment, where you played the woman who
ruined everything.
Yeah, ruined everything. Linda Tripp. I promised my producers I would try and goad you into doing the Monica.
Oh, if you Monica. But I know you were really so generous to me at that time, because I was thinking about this yesterday, because I was thinking about coming on your show, and I was thinking about how I was walking my dogs, which is pretty much what you find me doing, because I have 3 of them. It's really all I do.
Did you always have 3?
No, I had none when I first met you.
Okay.
And now I have 3.
Okay.
And so it's a psychosis that I have to figure out a way to solve, because my life has become totally unmanageable because I have so many dogs. But that's an After Dark comment. So I was just thinking about how lovely but generous you were to me, because you knew I was having this experience as an actor that has happened to me before when I played Marcia Clark. Anytime I played a real person, I do think there is some weird synergistic thing that you have to allow the opening for when you're doing it. And because you were producing the show and you were so involved with it, and I liked you so much, and yet I was having this real affection for Linda. And I think that I know. And you were it must have been really hard for you, but you were really something for you.
It was.
But you were really never, ever made me feel weird or uncomfortable. There was a lot of latitude you gave me for being willing to even hear me talk about it with you.
Yeah.
It was really...
No. I mean, I remember you had such great questions, so detailed that you were like, do you remember the brand of cigarettes that she smoked? Which I did not, I don't think.
Not many people remembered. I asked one other person and they couldn't remember either.
Yeah. I want to say Newports, but probably not.
Interesting.
I don't know.
A menthol.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
My mom was a menthol. She was Benson Hedges menthol.
I liked a menthol when I smoked.
But there were so many complicated things about that. I mean, on the one hand, I was so excited that an actor like you was going to be in this production. And there was also this sense of, but I don't want, not that I wanted you to play me, but I think this sense of this incredible actor is playing this woman
that's responsible for the sort of undoing of so many things.
Exactly. Yes. And I'm just thinking now, too, that for anyone listening who's really young or in perimenopause, right? So therefore forgotten, that would be just that Linda Tripp had been my friend in 1997, 96 and 97, I guess, and then decided that she would record me for 20 hours surreptitiously, and then decided that, I think everybody knows how I became a public person, but the remembering of the part that it was my erstwhile friend who decided, that they should become public.
That's right.
And where I think I definitely had gabbed to too many my other friends, I never would have gone public with it.
Right.
And, it's interesting because I think there's so many things. I mean, look, I had an affair. So, I mean, there's so many things that I would do that cross certain moral lines for people. I would not have a problem stealing if I really needed food or the money to help someone. Like, that would actually be easy for me. I know it's a terrible thing to say, but I don't think I could tape record someone like that.
Yeah, I really get that.
And so that felt complicated to me. And then also that it was, I think important to you, important to me, important to all the producers, that the whole point of what Ryan was looking to do here was to showcase the humanity.
Right. Which inherently was not part of your experience.
No. Well, it had, here's what's so complicated, right? Is that we were friends before, or I thought we were friends before we weren't friends.
Yeah.
And I was something else to her. So I think that there were aspects of her that I had liked as a person. But it was a complicated process.
I'm telling you, I was walking my dogs thinking, like, how did she do that? And because I have distance now, my affection for my protective feeling of Linda has abated. It's not as present for me anymore.
Right.
Like, I wanted to get an L tattoo on my body.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah. Like, you're like, wow, you just did something with your body that's very telling. You're like, yeah. Like, I was because of the artistic feat and experience that I had doing it. It was one of those sort of things that will forever be something I'm the most proud of in terms of my performance. And I don't say that about like anything I've ever done. I've never watched the Marcia Clark thing. I have no idea what that was. I know people responded very positively to it, but I haven't watched it myself. But the Linda thing, I did watch, and I really was like, wow, I am truly proud of the work I did on it. So the tattoo was not so much like I love Linda Tripp, but more of this feeling of this experience was something I wanted to mark somehow in a kind of ceremonial way for myself.
I get that.
But I didn't do it.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good thing. A good thing. And I'm not just saying that because I'm sitting with you. I think I'd be like, why the hell did I do that?
Right. You'd have to.
Because it was a real moment in time.
Of course.
Happens sometimes when you get swept up in a thing.
Right. How did you find, it's so good, but part of me is like, come to therapy with me, Sarah.
Happy to.
Well, you still have the wig, right?
I have, you know what it is? My hairdresser made a wig for my dog, a Linda wig for my dog. That is one of the greatest things I have to tell you. It is unbelievable.
Oh my gosh.
She styled the wig exactly, and we put it on the dog. Okay, and I have a photo of it. I'll send it to you.
You have to, and I am going to make a beret for one of your other dogs.
You should make Yes, that's right.
I think
she does have your beautiful hair color, my other dog, so she should be in that beret.
No. But it was, you just do such an extraordinary job in everything that you step into of fully embodying and embracing a character. But there were so many people that I knew who did not know it was you until the credits rolled.
Yeah.
And so
that to me is like an achievement to be proud of, even though she was a complicated person and a person for whom I understand people having so much.
Yeah. It's,
ill feeling toward and about. I can't tell you how much I understand it. Just while I was in it, it was like, I'm a mom, I'm a thing. I think I'm trying to, whatever it is that I needed to do to make real for myself the possibility of playing a person who believes she wasn't doing something terrible to you.
Right.
because I think we tell ourselves lies all the time, little tiny things that help make us do the thing we want to be doing anyway. Mm-hmm. And I think she wanted to find a way to justify some of the behavior to determine that you needed to be saved from something.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and I think you found this human truth in her that so many of us feel in different times, may not take the same actions to get there, but it's a being seen.
Yeah, I think that was the real...
I think that at the real core of all of it there was something about not being seen.
Yeah, I do really think that. And that was something that I could relate to, and I think that any person could relate to. And I think that's probably how I held it, was, to sort of not judge her while I was playing her.
Right.
I certainly had pre, and I've got my feelings post. But while I was doing it, it was important.
You back.
but I did have to kind of commit to a certain internal motor about what was motivating her choices. And I think this idea of really needing to be seen and recognized as a valuable member of society or of someone's life, or to make herself more important than she was because she felt so overlooked. I can understand all of that. And it was an absolute inroad to figuring out how to play this person who did something that, from a moral standpoint, I could not align myself with.
No. I couldn't imagine you doing that.
I couldn't align myself with it, but I was like, how could I?
Right.
Here's how I can if I think of it from this perspective.
It was interesting for me. I mean, the ways that I think it tested me too is first time I was producing and being a subject, and just examining and observing in myself the moments where I panicked about I was so afraid that you would do such a good job that then people, it was this irrational, like 5-year-old fear of, oh no, now everybody's going to like. And I remember you so generously said to me early on, you were so assuring of like, we're not giving her the Marcia Clark treatment.
No, that's not what this
that
is.
wasn't,
No,
but
but I think any amount of humanity coming in, out into the world towards Linda would be uncomfortable for you, as well it should be. You know what I mean? Like, I think that it was a very difficult thing for you to sort of be sitting inside and trying to balance, your producerial responsibilities or your desire to sort of want to make sure that certain truths were being told. It would be a very natural fear, I would think, to me, to worry that somehow, that some of the scripts were like, is this a way of trying to like exonerate this person emotionally? And am I, am I sanctioning this? Am I not?
I did have moments and notes of that felt, and also because I hadn't really been in the scripted world, so I couldn't understand even how something gets translated from script to screen.
Totally.
Through the prism of the person, the nuance, especially with someone like you with the nuance. But was it, and we won't spend all our time talking about this.
I would love to, but we don't have to.
But I am curious about, because we've talked about some of these things, but then not others. And so, Linda passed away in the beginning of 2020. And did that feel more complicated to you because did you feel more pressure, or was it freeing?
Well, I don't know if you like this answer, but I was devastated.
Okay.
Because I had wanted to meet her.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was, I think, in that zone at that particular moment, really like inside this experience of like, having learned so much about her, been watching her nonstop, that I just was like, this person I felt I knew, which of course I didn't and couldn't have. But I got emails and texts and calls from people, and we hadn't even started filming yet, basically. But I was sad about it.
That's interesting.
And
I, what? I felt sadness too.
Of course, because
I felt
she was someone's mother,
it's
and
just
she's,
exactly. She was loved by people.
Yeah.
Do I wish she had made different choices? Sure. Do I wish she had apologized, taken responsibility in a different way? Of course, but everybody lives their life.
Yeah.
And I think for me too, I had, when we got to the place where we were making this show, I had this very, what seemed bizarre to me, experience of having done so much work on myself that where I hadn't intended to like, quote unquote, forgive her, I did realize at certain points that, that was a consequence of all the work I had been doing, that I just didn't feel as much bile as I did early on. And so, and I think our connection even helped cement that aspect of it a bit.
That's nice.
You know.
I like that.
Yeah, I know.
Her kids, her daughter ended up,
Allison,
I ended
right?
up talking to Allison, not to Ryan, but to Allison and to Allison's husband, who wrote me a very beautiful letter, text and thing. And yeah, it was, and that was still when I was in the height of my Linda Tripp forever. You know what I mean? Which was like, really...
Okay, but so I'm curious, how do I phrase this? Like, is your Monica, is that Beanie or is it me?
My Monica is you, and it's you from that time when, of course, I didn't know you.
Right.
But it's sort of like I have, like when I think about Beanie and I think about my personal relationship with Beanie and our making it together and that, you know, we were really in the trenches and it was the pandemic and
oh my gosh,
she was away from her people. Like it was just, it was really, she was so isolated, and partly because she knew I lived with someone older, was so panicked about getting me sick that like she didn't go anywhere when we were making that thing. And like she lived a very, very, very sort of, hermetic sort of monastic life at that time. And it was hard for her. So we had such a, an intimacy that was, and we were doing this really hard thing, you know, it was hard getting tested every day. And it was,
my God, I forgot about all that.
Testing, and everybody was scared. People were scared. There were scares. This person tested positive. They had to leave the set. It was like a whole, it's just like a really sort of tense time. But when I think about Monica, it's you.
Okay.
But I think of you, it's very weird. I mean, nobody could have this experience, of course, in exactly this way, because although we were, pretending to be these people, you were also around. And like, I knew you separate from so somehow it's like when I think of you then, I only think of sort of images because I saw so many of them because of the research I did, not just, but now I don't think of you then. It's like, I don't know who that person is.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, I didn't know you then. I only know the Monica of today, which of course wouldn't exist without the Monica.
Right.
Of then.
Yeah.
And
I think, let's see if I can articulate this. The Monica of then that the world was introduced to
was not even who you were anyway. I know. So it's like,
even though many aspects of who I am today were present then. So I think
such a mindfuck.
Oh yeah.
Can I say mindfuck?
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. I fucking. My God. John Oliver was on, and we said cunt like 7 times in a minute. It was maybe one of the best minutes of my life. So
okay, great, good.
But this is so random. I had this crazy fucking thing happen.
Crazy fucking thing.
Exactly.
Yes.
Well, actually, it was to my mom. So my mom got it was clearly ended up being spam. But she got this long text from whomever saying they were the FBI.
What?
Yeah. And that they needed to talk to me because they were investigating some of the people who had been at Linda Tripp's Christmas party in 97, and they were like listing these things. And so my mom was really freaked out, but for the fact that there were emojis in the text.
She was like, no FBI.
So she was first, she was like, I don't think the FBI would text me. But then also, I really don't think the FBI. Right. But there was so much specificity that in the text that it was just really, really fucking freaky.
What did she do? Did she respond or she didn't respond?
No, she was my cute mom.
Yeah, your mom
she
was
was, even though she knew it wasn't real, she was like scared enough. She didn't want to tell me on the phone. So I had to go to her house and she showed it to me, which was cute.
Were you like, Mom?
She knew it. She knew it. I don't want to like.
What was the emoji, by the way? Was it a flower emoji? What was it?
I don't remember. I have the screenshots on my phone.
I would like to know.
I will tell you later. So, but I ended up getting in touch with someone at the FBI, and they were super helpful. But it's just it was such a weird sort of harpooning back to the past,
Well, that's, I would imagine, what the whole thing must have felt like. I mean, I know.
Yeah, it was Impeachment was very hard.
It must have been a very hard thing. I mean, I remember going through this with Marcia Clark, too, and how resistant she was at first to watching it, seeing it, being associated with it in any way. She had only ever been, in her experience, just sort of, pilloried. Yeah. And that she just was like, I don't need to find myself in this line of fire ever again in my life. And I was like, but but I think and then she did. And then, of course, it was a different thing. It was a different thing.
What's so interesting, I was thinking about, too, in us getting ready to chat, about how in this interesting way you've sort of been part of my reclaiming, because in playing Marcia Clark, I could not think of actually another instance where a real person had been portrayed in a show that changed how the world saw them. You know, and so that ended up, I think that was, and that role was when?
2016.
Okay. 16. Oh, I thought it was earlier. Wow. Interesting. But still, it was sort of, I think this idea of that's the power, you know, one of the aspects of the power of scripted.
That's right.
Something good.
That's right. Or, and conversely, it's also true. But I mean, I think it absolutely was. And of course, I can't take full credit for the rehabilitation of the world's view of Marcia Clark, because the writing was such, the story was sort of, you know, heading in that direction. That was the version, that was part of the stories they wanted to tell about everyone, all the players in that to a degree, but sort of the sexism and.
But the world also had to be ready.
The world had to be ready.
Right.
And I can take credit for, I suppose, gosh, I don't know, the way in which I experienced Marcia in terms of how I read it, what it felt like to me that it was. I did not speak to her before we started.
Right.
So like I didn't have any real intel from her, but this was just how it hit me.
Yeah.
And so I can only, I guess, take credit for, and this is going to sound probably pretty hokey, maybe not to you, but like
you know me well, girl.
Maybe not to you, but like this, I was sort of like this vessel for some sort of like divine haunting in a way. Like somehow something came through me, and I was able to. I mean, she would said to me later, like, I don't know how you knew that. I mean, Allison said this to me too about her mom. She's like, I don't know how you knew that. And I was like, well, I don't know how I did. And
but
I don't know if I did get it right or whatever. But like, but there was something about it that I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. I can't even call it a talent, because I don't think it has anything to do with me, except for my willingness and openness and availability to be like, I'm going to do this. I will follow the instinct, my personal instinct, but I'm not creating it. It doesn't feel to me.
Right. You're sort of
I'm
being
feeling like open to the
yeah.
impulses that move me.
I remember I don't remember the episode number, but whatever the episode was, when Linda and Monica are in the restaurant at the Ritz-Carlton, and Linda's wired, and Monica doesn't know. So weird. It's always weird
Monica
because I'm like, I did not know.
Monica,
so we're talking about the characters, and the real Monica also did not know.
I think that was episode 8 or 9.
Yeah. I was so triggered by that because it was so. It was a very bizarre moment of like.
Well, you were seeing Linda in the room with the FBI getting wired, and like choosing to go down there and like taking it, so seriously.
Yeah.
And, like she was going on some like, undercover in Russia or something. You know what I mean? How important it was to her to.
Well, and that all the people in the restaurant.
Yes.
And I remembered, I can remember flashbacks of, I don't know about faces, but sort of faces. But then to see in the show that it was also.
So did you feel in the room there that like in retrospect, were you like, oh, that's why?
No, I didn't. I was suspicious of her because when I think she went to the bathroom and I like looked through her purse.
Yes,
I was just,
that's in the show.
Yeah. But in a million years, I could not have imagined that she was wearing a wire and
working with the FBI.
That everybody else in the restaurant was FBI. So, it's just it is sometimes very bonkers to me still that's
what happened to you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I can imagine so.
Yeah.
Let's take a cleansing breath.
I know. Reclaiming is brought to you by Audible. Welcome back for another month of our Reclaiming Listening Club. I'm thrilled to share this month's pick, Devil in Winter. And honestly, could there be anything more perfect for these chilly nights? When the sun sets early and you just want to nest with a cozy blanket and tea, this audiobook delivers all the warm and fuzzy feels, with a side of a little bit of mischief. If you haven't met Evie Jenner yet, you're in for such a treat. Picture this. A cold London night, our shy heroine walks up to the city's most infamous bad boy, Sebastian St. Vincent, and says, "So, want to get married?" And that's just the beginning. For anyone who has ever felt just left of center or who wasn't the homecoming queen, that would be me, this book reminds us how we are all unique in wonderful ways and deserve love. I literally gasped out loud at parts, and I'm sure my neighbors are probably waiting to hear what happens next. This book had me so hooked that I started finding the weirdest excuses to keep listening, like, oh, these dishes absolutely need to be done right now. The narrator absolutely nails Sebastian's smooth-talking charm and Evie's transformation from wallflower to woman in charge. Trust me, your daily walk or commute is about to get so much better with these two keeping you company. Ready to fall in love with more amazing stories together? Head to audible.com/reclaiming and sign up for a free 30-day trial. That's audible.com/reclaiming. You have a tendency to play a lot of complicated women characters. So Marcia and Linda, but then also, I'm not going to remember her name, the sister in Appropriate.
Tony.
And yeah.
Tony.
And, Mistress Epps in 12 Years a Slave. So what do you think I mean, this is probably a question you get a lot, but what draws you to the complicated?
Because it feels the most true. It's more honest than sort of, sometimes and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with a career that looks like the thing I'm about to describe, or that I wouldn't also be happy to have that too. But this sort of idea of woman, the idea of human, the idea of a sort of, without any nicks, flaws, imperfections, this kind of idealistic version of a person is just really not interesting to me. And no one has really knocked on my door a lot about playing them. And I don't know what that says about me. But I think
playing non-complicated.
Yeah, like I don't really, I don't get asked to play your average girl next door, whatever average girl next door means. Like I don't even know what that means, but in a Hollywood context.
Right.
I've never been asked to do that. And on some level, it's like when someone says, what would be the most radical thing you could do now? I'm like, to play some lady next door, but like who's got, doesn't have like a black tooth or a peg leg, you know what I mean? It's just like, she's just your neighbor,
Right.
But I don't think that would, I
don't think you could even do that. I think you would have to there would be a dimensionality to the most sort of vanilla character that you could be asked to play that somehow.
I think like, how would I do that in a way where I was like, some things I do really believe have to do with a person's essence. Like you can have an incredible actor who has a limit to what they can do because you kind of don't buy X, Y, or Z about them in different environments or genres. And I'm not going to name an actor because why would I do that? But like later for the After Dark episode. But yeah. But I don't know. This is going to sound so hokey, but it's either like the portal is open or it ain't. And it's like, and for whatever reason, I recognize myself as being an incredibly complicated, sometimes quite difficult, confusing even to myself person. So if I feel that way and I'm honest about that reality, I don't know how to approach anything I'm doing from a creative standpoint without filtering it through the lens through which I see things. And that, I'm a hypercritical person, but of myself mostly. Yeah. But the consequences is that other people are having to deal with my, fastidious or my, hyper vigilant. I'm a Virgo rising. What can I say? So it makes me I'm really like, I'm a Sagittarius. So I'm like, what's up? But then I'm also just like, where are you putting the coaster?
Exactly.
And it's a very internally, and an Aquarius moon, by the way. It's just a big pot of mess. I feel like a big pot of mess. And so I don't know how to look at anything I'm playing without sort of seeing it multidimensionally. I don't know how to do it. And so blessing or curse, it can be, in life, it can be sometimes a difficult thing to live inside. Yeah. Because I don't have a lot of certitude. Okay. Because I feel very easily I'm malleable. I can go with this in this direction or in this direction,
but there's also structure to it.
And so it's like internally, I sometimes feel like at war with myself about just let it go, And it's like, you can't let it go. You must try, and it's like, oh, what does it matter? Well, because it matters. You know what I mean? It's like, it's a very hard thing to straddle, it feels to me. This like part of me that wants to be a devil-may-care person and the other person who's like, can't do that if you paid me.
Right.
Right.
Really. Have you done any, if this feels too personal for some reason, but the family parts system therapy, I mean, because that's, right, all the different versions of us of different ages and...
Yeah, I mean, I remember my mom saying things to me like when I was on the phone with different friends. She's like, I can always tell who you're on the phone with based on how you sound.
Oh, wow.
And she's like, it was always changing. So it's like, on the one hand, I'm like, does that make me a sociopath? Or does that make me totally crazy? Or is it that thing that like, I was left alone a lot as a child. I was raised by a single mom, and my sister and I were separated for a time, and she was living with my dad in Maryland and Florida, and then in Maryland, and I was living with my mom, and I was alone a lot. So like a way in which I think I survived the fear, the terror I felt as a young person was to constantly sort of be whatever anybody needed to be me to be in any scenario so that I could always somehow create safety for myself. And so like I really feel the incredible consequence of this is that it has made me as an actor, I think, capable of shape-shifting a little bit more than your average person, maybe. Not more than your average actor, but maybe more than your average person, which lends itself to some of my creative impulses, choices, and willingnesses to do something so vastly different from myself, because I can go there, because I've had to go there in different environments with different people and become whatever I thought they wanted me to be.
Well, are you also saying, though, that you sort of soothed yourself when you were scared and alone by different versions or your imagination?
My imagination was always incredibly fertile, really. But like I would play games. Like, this is really, I'm going to go there with you. But like if I'd come home from school and I was like jumping over the cracks in the sidewalk, and the whole thing about it, you step on a crack, you break your own back, whatever. But I would play these games like if I can get on this is probably like very OCD, maybe not, where I would like, if I could jump over all the cracks and not step on anything, my mom would be home for dinner. If I could, it's like a lot of wishful magical thinking. So it was like a lot of my stuff was like around trying to create safety. And so it's sort of interesting to me that I would go into a profession where like, I'm never in the same place. I'm always with new people. It's like, I haven't been on like even on American Horror Story, it's like I was on the show for many years, but different stories, different characters, some of the same actors, some not, like, so there was this constant change, and I like it. I like it that way. And sometimes I think you like the thing you're familiar with, not necessarily because it serves or suits your nervous system.
Yeah. Enter my dating.
Enter your dating life, which I would really love to talk about too at some point.
That's for later. We grew up in a time where anxiety was not a word.
That's right.
And it was, you could express emotion. You could cry because you were upset because you didn't get something or you skinned your knee or whatever. Right. But there was just... language didn't exist for those certain kinds of things. And then also I think our parents didn't have there was no, it was like, oh, you didn't win, right. That kind of a thing. And not saying they were neglectful at all, but it was just not part of the parental vernacular.
Yeah, and I think my mom was 22 when she had me, 24 when she had my sister. So she was just ill-equipped. She just wasn't even a person yet. So like on a lot of, when you talk about forgiveness and things, like I think about this a lot with my mom who, I love very dearly and who is, I have enormous respect for. And I cannot believe that she like picked up from Florida in this incredibly conservative community and with conservative parents and like picked up and moved to New York to be a writer and, had at 27 had a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old or whatever the math is on that. Never been my strong suit. Don't ask me. She picked up and moved to New York and started a life there. And like, I'm able to live my life the way I live my life now because of some of the choices that she made that were absolutely self-serving because she was looking for her own survival. But the consequences of having such a young parent and her doing something like that meant she was working a lot of jobs, she was doing a lot of things, and so I was by myself a lot. And so it wasn't exactly conducive to like great parenting, but it was what she needed to do to survive. So I have a lot of sympathy for it. And at the same time, I have a lot of, I would say, battle scars from just trying to survive it,
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure I know anybody who doesn't have battle
Right.
scars,
Yeah.
right?
And if you don't
sort
have
of
them, then
part
like
of-
don't sit next to me.
Right,
I mean, because
exactly.
we've got nothing to talk about.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. So you always wanted to be an actress,
Oh my God.
right?
I feel like I was in the womb like, is this thing on? You know, it's like, it's just like jazz hands. 'Twas the night
Oh
before
my
Christmas.
God.
Juliet, Romeo. Like, I'm sure it was all of these things. I mean, I really feel like I came out of the womb just like wanting to go to Debbie Reynolds' tap studio and you know, that's just truly.
I mean,
don't
did
know
you
why.
ever entertain, like in school, did you ever sort of go, I'm kind of maybe writing or biology? No.
Biology.
I know.
Yeah. Me and biology and science really.
Yeah.
We had a real thing going. No, I thought maybe I wanted to be like a marine biologist, actually, only because I liked the animals in the water. And,
Okay.
you know, and I thought I could maybe be a vet because I'm obsessed with animals.
Okay.
But then it was like, you have to also be a doctor, and then you also have to cut on them, and you tell people horrible, sad things.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's not for me.
Yeah.
Not for me. So there was really nothing I ever really wanted to do in a serious way. And I think it's a real blessing. I mean, I have a lot of friends who have kids now whose kids were my age when I knew what I wanted to do, and they don't know what they want to do yet. And it's kind of amazing that they've got, you know, a whole world in front of them to choose from. And also I had like such a clear thing. And when I think about it now, it's like, I don't know why in the world I thought it was going to work. I don't know how, why did I think I was going to be able to do that? I don't know. I don't know where I got the idea
But
that
that's
it was
amazing, actually.
But I just did. And
Right.
not because I thought I would be successful enough to like, I don't even know what, but I've been paying my life for my life from a food and a car standpoint and, you know, charitable donations because I'm an actor.
Right.
That's really an
It's
unbelievable
impressive.
thing because I have a lot of
Yeah.
friends who can't say the same,
Yeah.
who are extraordinarily talented. So
Right.
why the why? The why of it all is really a mystery to me, you know, because I don't think it's merit-based solely. I really don't. I really don't. I have too many friends who are far better than I could ever dream of being, truly, who don't have careers that thrill them, you know?
Yeah.
And it's sort of heartbreaking.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. So you were on the Broadway stage at 19, right?
Yes.
And so did that, like, I'm thinking about your career because when I look at it, I think, okay, did that feel to you like I've made it, or was it Jack and Jill or Studio 60 or
I think for
movies?
sure Studio 60 felt like a turning point for
Yeah.
me, even though the audience did not agree that was a turning point. But this was a different time in the business where there was a time where like there was one script or like one pilot script or like one movie where every single woman under the age of 30 at this particular time, or 35 and under, was auditioning for it. And every room you went into, you'd see the same girls.
And were you and Amanda?
Amanda and I met on Jack and Jill, but Amanda
Okay.
was very, very integral to my getting Studio 60,
Okay.
actually. Because she was already cast. She was,
okay.
She was, you know, fancy actress gal, and I was her pal who like did some plays and did some things and had been in some things, but she got offered that show, and it was like, I'm telling you, it was called Studio 7 at the time. It was not called Studio 60.
Okay.
And it was already going to be Matthew Perry, and I don't think Bradley Whitford had been cast yet. And then, but Amanda and Matthew had worked together on The Whole Nine Yards, and they were really good
right.
friends. And so,
Right.
yeah, and I went in to audition for my final time to read with Matthew. And I think Amanda made a couple calls on my behalf. And I'm not saying they gave it to me because she asked them to,
Yeah.
but I don't think it hurt. But we never got to do we had maybe like 2 scenes together
Right.
the whole time we were on that show because our storylines were just separated. And it was,
Yeah.
yeah. But we met on Jack and Jill, which was
Okay.
when I was 24 and she was
Right.
26,
Yeah.
27. Yeah.
My favorite Amanda story moment is, I think it might have even been when I got to know her, was actually right after she got off the red carpet at the Vanity Fair Oscar dinner, and she shimmied out of her girdle.
She sure
And
did.
was like, I'm going to be comfortable now.
That's right.
And I thought, I like this girl.
Yeah. There's really nobody better on planet Earth.
Yeah.
She's one of the great people of the world. I feel like, you know, this is like a thing that's come up for me a lot lately about friendship because like at this age in my life, my world has actually gotten smaller, not bigger, from a friendship standpoint. And at first it feels so kind of catastrophic in terms of the shift because you do feel the loss of the day-to-dayness with a person. But the truth is all it has sort of done is sort of tighten the sense of connectivity to the people who are in my life and why they are still in my life. And the bulk of them, probably the two closest friendships, the three closest friendships I've known them for, pushing 30 years. And so like, these are the kinds of things that are so beautiful to me about the passage of time in some way, because it's like, I remember Amanda long before she had children. She has 3 of them now, you know what I mean? And it's like, now we're talking about A1C numbers. And now, you know what I mean? There's something so beautiful. And, but, I've also had like friendship breakups for the first time in the last 2 or 3 years that I had never really had them before. And has that happened? Have you had those where you all of a sudden go,
I have, I think.
Or an event has happened?
Right. I think what I have found is if you're working on yourself, right, you heal or you shift. And what comes with that is a change of frequency. And so I think sometimes what ends up happening, sometimes it ends up being a noticeable break or something, a moment that happens, or sometimes it's just a drifting apart. I have also had ebbs and flows.
Interesting.
And so I have had some really close friends of mine where we've gone through periods where I've thought, oh fuck, this is it. Like this person is no longer my friend. And then you will, run into them in a random place a couple years later and
it reignites something.
What it has shown me, and I've had enough of those to kind of know, okay, we'll see. If it's, you know what I mean? Like some connections are meant to stay and sometimes
I think it's funny. It's like I'm learning at this point in my life to live with, and it's really hard for me. And I think it's probably not unique to me that it's hard, but I have a really hard time with feeling misunderstood, misrepresented, or the idea that someone has an idea of me that feels so incongruous with my idea of myself. And I do end up kind of, because it is my way, trying to sort of do a deep dive and figure out what can I own here? What doesn't feel like it's mine? But sometimes I feel like the lesson for me, more than anything, is to how to live with the discomfort of somebody having an idea or an assessment or something about you that doesn't align with what you feel about yourself, and that's okay. You can let that be that person's experience of you or their take, and it can be very painful, but it doesn't make it so.
I'm sorry because I feel like there's an intensity
I had a very,
and a heaviness
very,
and a sad.
very,
I'm really sorry you went
person
through
that
this.
I thought was like my sister, basically.
Yeah.
So it was just definitely hard. But there was an event that happened.
Okay.
This is for After Dark. But there was an event, and something that I can take real ownership of to a degree.
Right.
But then I feel like there's another piece of it that isn't fully mine.
I mean, I'll just say, I've lived long enough now, a year older than you.
You've got a year in front of me, girl.
Grandma's saying, no, I'm not a grandma because I don't have kids. But I do feel like relationships and friendships that you think could never repair may repair.
Maybe. But then there's a part of me that's like, if you think I'm capable of what it is that you think I did.
Yeah. Oh,
and
okay.
you really believe that?
Yeah.
Then how do we...
Okay, I haven't had of that.
Then that
I haven't had of that kind of thing.
That becomes hard too, because then you're like, wow, if that's, I don't know how we find our way back from that. I don't know, because that would be up to me too, to be like, I'm okay with or comfortable with that was your assessment. Like I don't know. It's a complicated one.
Yeah.
I'm okay. I'm not, do I seem not okay?
No,
it was definitely, it was something.
You totally seem okay,
I'm
but
okay,
I can, I can feel that it was like it
was a heartbreak.
fractious.
It was fractious.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like, oh, well. Yeah.
Right.
But it's been a couple of years now, so
okay.
It's okay.
It is, but it is such a, it's such an interesting part of kind of getting older and understanding yourself more.
Yeah.
And I think also for me, I was so lucky at 49. I just fell into this year of acceptance and
how did that happen?
I don't fucking know.
You don't?
But I don't.
You don't?
I mean, I think it's...
What precipitated it? This is my show now.
Yeah.
I'm interviewing you.
You're allowed to ask questions. It's conversation. I mean, the only thing I can say is I always, in hindsight, I'm like, well, I guess it was the work I was doing. But I don't always set out.
Right.
You know, it's like sometimes it sort of feels like an Easter basket of surprise. Not that Easter baskets have surprises,
well, they
but
do,
we'll just go with it.
Sometimes underneath all that colored foil is some extra special chocolate goodness.
Good. Thank you, Sarah.
Yes.
Good save from Paulson. But yeah, I think that it's because I actually was very afraid of my 49th year because my 39th was so bad and almost didn't make it out of my 39th. So I was afraid of 49, and I just felt freedom. I just started to feel freedom around things that were previously made me really anxious. And it's...
You want to give me some of that? Yeah. I'll take some of it. If you got a little something,
exactly.
A little tincture of Lewinsky blood, I'll take it.
Okay, going all the way back, Studio 60, Harry Hayes was interesting, the religious part.
That was a real...
How did you wrap your head around?
Well, I come from a kind of religious family. I mean, on my mother's side, my mother's parents they're no longer with us, but they were really religious, and increasingly so as they got older. But, I don't know, to me it was just like, I don't have to be religious to understand having a absolute, unbridled and just unbreakable commitment to a belief,
Oh, interesting.
That to me felt something that was accessible to me. And the show wasn't, we don't really see Harriet in church. We just see her battling with Matthew, which was really an Aaron Sorkin, Kristen Chenoweth story where I was playing Kristen Chenoweth and he was playing Aaron. Matthew's playing Aaron. And so we were sort of reenacting their battles with one another, which was very fun because anytime you want to have a battle that's like a romantic comedy Philadelphia story, you might as well have Aaron Sorkin write it. And then you're like, this is going well, and I'm going to win this argument because I've got to say a lot of smart things and quickly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's like doing Shakespeare, I imagine.
Yes, it is. He writes. I'm going to say this wrong. I think he was a musical theater major or something.
Yes.
Right. So he writes with this sort of iambic, he writes with this sort of musicality, not unlike Shakespeare. And so that's exactly right. And there was actually a person on set whose name was Wendy. And Matthew and I had many scenes together because we were constantly at odds with one another and still in love with each other and all of that. And it was so fun to play. And he was so wonderful to me and so exciting to act with, and I learned so much about comedy from him just by being around him. But Wendy's job on Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip was to make sure that every person said every word that Aaron had written exactly.
Wow.
So it's not, you can't make was not wasn't.
Right.
Can't do it.
Okay.
Cannot do it.
Okay.
Wendy's job was to, and so Matthew and I would be standing there sometimes after a very long walk and talk with the Steadicam operator for, a 3-minute walk and talk all through the maze of our set. And we'd get to the end of the scene and we both we remembered our lines and we got through it and we knew where we were going. And then we'd see Wendy walking, making her way over. And Matthew used to call her the Hawk. And he'd be like, caw-caw! Here comes the hawk, because she'd be like, I'm so sorry, you guys.
Yeah.
You said was not, and it wasn't. And we'd have to do the entire thing again.
Wow.
But listen, if I'm William Shakespeare, I want it said the way I've written it. So Aaron Sorkin can tell me how to say just about anything, and I'll do it. You know? So it was not a complaint. It was just... It was hard, and I was scared. It was like my first really big, flashy job, and I was just like, oh my God, I'm going to get fired because I made a contraction. That wasn't a contraction.
Obviously, you must have gotten close to Maddie.
Yeah. Yeah, when we were working together, I did, yeah.
Did you guys stay close after?
We were for a little bit, and then both of our lives sort of went away, and then we did a play reading together once and kind of reconnected for a moment, and then when I did Ratchet, which came out during the pandemic, he wrote to me, and that was really sweet. But I hadn't seen him in a very, very long time.
Yeah. Okay.
So it was, it wasn't great.
Yeah. No. That's,
Did you know him at all?
A very little bit. Very little bit. But
the funniest man alive. There was no one on earth.
Funny.
There was no one on earth funny.
Yeah. Very funny.
Truly,
very charming.
Oh my God.
I have a friend who was really
close to him.
Yeah. Very, very.
Yeah.
And so
funnier.
yeah, just, I think, a light that went out that, really lit up a lot of people's
He worked with me,
lives.
like, on my final audition when I went in to read for Aaron Sorkin and Tommy Schlamme, who was the director. And Maddie was reading with, like, the final 3 women who were coming in for the part of Harriet Hayes. And he met me early, and I don't think he did this with the other actresses. And he met me, and we ran through all the scenes in his car. And
Wow.
Yeah, he was so... And I think that was more a gift to Amanda because they were so close at that time. And he was just so generous with me. And we had a really, really fun time working together. I loved him, really. Yeah. It's awful.
Reclaiming is brought to you by Peloton. We all know the holidays can feel a little overwhelming. Well, let me tell you about something that's about to make your life easier. The new Peloton cross-training Tread Plus. This thing is seriously next level, thanks to something called Peloton IQ. Picture having this really smart workout buddy right in your home. It's correcting your form, counting your reps, suggesting weights, basically taking all the guesswork out of your workout. Plus, there's this amazing swivel screen that just changes everything. If you're feeling like a run, great. Want to hop off and do some strength training? Just spin the screen around and boom, you're ready to go. It's that simple. The coolest part might be how it gets to know you. Peloton IQ creates a personal workout roadmap based on your goals and sets you up with instructors who match your energy. Need someone to fire you up? Done. Prefer a more chill vibe? They've got that too. Let yourself run, lift, flow, and go. Explore the new Peloton cross-training Tread Plus at onepeloton.com. Talk to me about Ryan Murphy. Do you guys have a meet cute story? I don't know this.
The meet cute story with Ryan actually has to do with an actress named Jill Clayburgh.
Okay.
Who is an extraordinary actress, and her very good friend, Jennifer Salt, who was a writer on Nip Tuck and who's the daughter of Waldo Salt, who wrote Midnight Cowboy. Okay. So Jennifer Salt was a writer on Nip Tuck and best friends with Jill Clayburgh. And I was really good friends with Jill Clayburgh, and so therefore with Jennifer Salt. And one night, Ryan came over to Jennifer's house while I was there, and we were having like a raucous good time and drinking wine and having a great time. And he offered me a part on Nip Tuck.
Right then and there?
Right then and there.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Yeah. And I was so excited. And so I,
oh my gosh.
did it. And that was sort of the beginning. And I did an episode of that show. And then I was doing Studio 60 and he reached out to me and said, would you come do this? I've got this pilot for FX called Pretty Handsome, and will you come be on it? And he said, you can do as many episodes as you want or as few episodes as you want. Just come play with us. And I was like, yes, absolutely. And we did that. That show ended up not going. And then, this is funny, he offered me the part of Emma Pillsbury on Glee. And I couldn't do it because I got this play and I wanted to do this play instead. And so we didn't connect for a while. I was in New York doing my theater thing. And then how did we reconnect? Oh, I know how we reconnected. I did The Glass Menagerie with Jessica Lange on Broadway. No one needs to look that up. I know that for sure because I was there in 2005. And we just had a very instantaneous sort of close bond, Jessica and myself. And she came out to LA to do the pilot of American Horror Story.
Oh, wow.
And we were spending a lot of time together because Jessica's never really had a big LA life. It was never really her thing. And so I was one of the handful of people that she really knew out here. And so we were spending a lot of time together, and I went with her to this event for Project Angel Food, where the mutual producer of Glass Menagerie was being honored, who was also a producer in Ryan's company. Okay. And so Ryan came to this event. And Jessica said to Ryan before the event was over, can't you find something for Sarah to do on Horror Story? Because, I was supposed to go back to New York to do a play. The play fell apart. So I was like, now I'm here. And he was like, And then he was like, I actually do have something for you to do. There's a part of this psychic. Her name is Billie Dean Howard. And it's a couple of episodes. And I was like, okay, great, amazing. And I did 3 episodes of American Horror Story. And then the second season, he gave me the lead on that season, the character of Lana Winters in season 2, which was American Horror Story Asylum. And then that was literally that. And then I just, and then he gave me Marcia Clark. And that's sort of the end of the story. I mean, because it's
because it was the beginning.
It was the beginning of everything. And so for whatever reason, and I still to this day, he's the only person who can answer this because I don't know what the reason is that he continued to, throw the ball my way. I don't know. Because he has a lot of people in his acting life who, and he does like to work with the same people over again because I think, once you learn how to sort of interpret his...
he's an artist.
He's an artist. He's a real artist. And he really creates these universes that are deep and wide and really special and unique and like nothing you've ever seen before. So he likes to work with people he knows are going to just go there.
Yeah.
And maybe I proved early on that I was willing to go there since I had 2 heads. I was a witch. I was...
I have to say, I have never seen American Horror.
I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
I'm terrified. I cannot do scary.
I get it. So, I don't watch anything scary, but it's not scary to me because I'm on it. But I'm like the person who will not see a scary movie. I don't know.
Oh, yeah,
anything.
no.
It's not for me.
I just can't. I'm just and now I sort of, everything for me is, how do I protect my nervous system?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, this isn't going to be good for my nervous system. Right. But it's not good for your nervous system to recreate them either, by the way. Because your brain and your, it's like a whole, I remember I can't remember who said this, but some intelligent person or some person who had some data on this talked about how an opening night on a Broadway stage or an off-Broadway stage or whatever is tantamount to being in a car accident in terms of what happens with the adrenaline in your body.
Oh, wow.
And not from like the damage that can happen from, but from the adrenaline that happens and what, and it's like that usually on opening and then it gets less and less and less, but your body is going through something and running around simulating, terror does do something to your nervous system. Your body doesn't exactly know, your brain knows you're pretending, your brain knows you're imagining, but your body, if I'm recreating that I'm hyperventilating, odds are, because that's my skill set is, I have to really do it. I don't know how to simulate it. Okay. So I'm really hyperventilating. And so that's not great for the nervous system. But I still love doing it more than anything.
Well, so then, okay, so let's just say an opportunity for a play comes up. Is there a part of you that is like, yeah, I want that opening night adrenaline? Or is it like, ooh, I want to do this, but fuck, that opening night adrenaline
Prior to doing the play that I just did, I hadn't done a play in 10 years, and I was...
Appropriate. Right? Okay.
And I was terrified. But there was something about the character that I don't know why. Again, it's probably really boring to not have an answer as to the why of it, but it's I just couldn't not do it. So the terror, the desire to do it bests the feeling of I can't, or it's too scary, or I'm going to die from terror, or, and I was terrified and I couldn't feel my toes and I couldn't feel my hands for the first 5 minutes I was out on stage, and it gets better as it goes. And then some days you're like, it's a Sunday matinee and you're like, I'm fucking nervous and I don't know why. And so, it's, if the thing is calling to me, it doesn't matter how terrifying it is, I will usually do it. So the opening night jitters, a character I can't say no to, the character will win out. Right. Always.
And do you, with all the varied characters, do you feel like you both need to find something within yourself that somehow connects to them? And does something about the character change you or stay with you after?
I mean, I do have to find my way into it, but it doesn't always have to be like an obvious route of connectivity. And sometimes, like the character I played Inappropriate, she was a real piece of work and not that pleasant to be around. Now, I don't imagine myself that way, but there is a real part of me in certain environments where I'm not that dissimilar from her. In terms of being reactive, or in terms of, having big feelings about things. And but then I guess what it requires, I think, is a willingness to be honest with yourself about the ugliest parts of yourself. For me to do the work I want to do, that is interesting to me, that holds my attention, that keeps me coming back, it's because I feel maybe not afraid to look at the ugliness in myself and the places in which I feel undeveloped and undernourished and fragile. And I, instead of running from them, I'm like, oh, I recognize that because I have a real sense of my foible. I really know where I know what my trouble is. Let's put it that way. And it doesn't always mean that therefore I don't have any.
Right.
It doesn't mean that. Just, it's like they say knowledge is only half of the, you're that kind of knowledge is half the battle. But putting it into practice to sort of not do the thing you normally do when you respond to something is really hard. I had an experience before I came here where I was like, I was able to do this thing and then go home before I came here. And I was walking up my walkway going, I cannot believe you allowed yourself to get that upset about this thing that happened, this meaningless, nothing thing. And it's like, why do you let this happen over and over and over again, where you react in a way that you are unhappy about after, because it's not your highest self, your best self. It's just my frustration with someone not doing something the way I think they should, the way I think they should. What the hell does what I think they should be doing have to do with me? Now, granted, it did involve me and it affected me. So there's some piece of it. But the idea that I couldn't go, oh, well, you'll figure it out and I'll be here to let me know. And instead I was like, why don't you know? And how did it? And it's like, I really am a person who deals with a lot of regret about how reactive I can be. And so, I do know this about myself. It doesn't always stop me from doing it. Right. I'm still walking up my walkway going, God damn it. Why did you do that? Probably made her feel bad. You probably, that's just, why do you do that? And I have a million reasons why. And I know why. But it's very hard for me in the moment to step back and go, wait a minute.
Yeah.
None of this has anything to do, who cares?
I know.
Or maybe who cares is not even the right word, because that's like, maybe that's the thing I actually rebuff, is maybe I'm a person who kind of cares too much about everything. And then I take everything is just so important. And some things are and should be less important than other things. But I think it's okay for things to matter.
Yeah.
And I think things, and always have been. My mother called me Sarah Bernhardt as a child, which of course was sort of funny at the time. But I sort of, with some therapy, have had conversations with the shrink about how actually, and she didn't mean to do this. She was just sort of like, to your point earlier of like not really having all the tools to know how to deal with my big feelings, it became this thing where then I walked around thinking that they were too much, or that I was having a reaction that was too big, and it was so dramatic, and dramatic inherently meant to me not truthful or not real or out of adjustment for the circumstance. And so then I started to maybe be a little less sure about my assessment in terms of my emotional assessment of something in the moment, and then maybe not knowing how best to do that. The consequences, of course, is I can do it all in my work, but it's like,
you know what's interesting, what came up for me when some of what you were saying is this thing that I really struggle doing, as simple as it seems to sound, but my therapist does with me, of this like mantra of that sometimes it's about not beating yourself up, that's actually how you change the thing. And then I have to say to us, that's what I do. Sometimes when I'm feeling blah, 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 I write a too long email. I send a third email. Right. I, say the thing. And some of it is that half the battle is how we beat ourselves up. Right. The recrimination, self-recrimination. Right.
But then I'm like, as part of my thing also, I'm in the habit of doing and then regretting and feeling bad. And I'm not doing enough to stop myself from doing the thing in the first place, because I'm in this sort of cycle of I do it, I regret it, I feel bad, I vow never to be reactive again. Which is sort of another thing of like, how can you, some of it is like self-acceptance is in, I guess what I mean is like how hard it is to like hold some truth about yourself, which is I am this way. In some ways, it means I stand up for myself. It means I'm assertive. It means a lot of positive things. The downside of it is X, Y, and Z. And I've got to be able to hold the reality that is who I am on some level. Yeah. And I am responsible, though, for how that, what the consequence of some of that behavior is. Yeah. I have to be responsible for that. And maybe I'm being too hard on myself. I feel a little bit like,
for me, that's sort of interesting just in the whole full circle of the conversation is when you think about being young, being scared, being left alone, right? There's always that part of us, I think, that is, is asking the question, if I were more perfect, would I not be left alone?
Right. Yes. I personalized it greatly.
And so
yes, it doesn't matter how much I intellectually understood it, but emotionally I was like, I'm the only one here and you're not coming home. So what story does that tell me?
Right. You know? But then you look at all this other stuff and it's really about perfectionism.
Correct.
And underneath the perfectionism is the fear of
being left alone. Yes.
Right.
I think that's right.
I mean, some of it maybe.
I think that's right. And I think, but I think, I guess it's that story of at 50, almost 51, I would like to be a person who can know all of those things that are inside of me that are percolating and activated and like we all are every day, every 5 seconds. I would like to be able to go, this has nothing to do with
I get that.
You know, like I just want to get to that. I'm tired of being the person who's like, God. Because what you're saying is true. It does really it all comes down to that core thing of like, am I not enough? Right? That's what the perfectionism is about. Right. That's what it's all about. And I love it. But it's also, again, I sound like I've got, like multiple personalities. But what I mean is like there is a bifurcation internally for me of like at work, it really serves me to be able to have this ability to dissect, figure out, do my work, prepare, blah, 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 have access to all these big emotions, these responses, these reactions. In my regular life, it can sometimes be, there can be consequences that don't always get like a nice performance on screen, And there's something about being an actor sometimes that I feel like is, at least for me, I'm sure some people do it far different and better than I ever could, but who can balance that more. But I feel like sometimes my lack of like special training means I am using a lot of my own internal muck.
Right.
And so it's like the good for my work. And then sometimes it's really,
So wait, did you not have formal training?
No. I mean, I went to high school. I went to Performing Arts High School at LaGuardia, but I didn't go to college. And so I didn't go to a conservatory. I didn't, I kind of got boots on the ground, experiential training, but no. So
no dancing on tables,
so there's
like
some,
fame.
Well, there was some of that a little bit. But like I guess... Yeah, my way of figuring out how to access some of the things I need to do for my work is mostly just from my own way of being, and there's something chaotic about it. Yeah. A little bit. Yeah. So there's the useful part of it, and then there's the part of it that's like, I wish I could just like, how do I turn off, that part?
I mean, I think we all have our own versions of that, and sometimes what's hard is, when you are self-reflective, you can think other people don't, right? But it's like, it's almost you're paying attention because you are self-reflective.
Yes, that's right.
And so that's that. There are plenty of people who might go through a day and have the same reactions that you did and not even be thinking about it.
Maybe, yeah.
And I don't know which is better.
I don't know which is better either. This is the thing. It's like delusion. It's like, I don't know. What is the thing?
Right.
And maybe the answer is, we need all of it.
Yeah.
It's all grist for the mill, essentially.
I mean, just kind of going back to the Ryan stuff, like people talk about you as his muse. And what does that feel like?
It makes me happy because, again, I feel seen. I feel like someone was like, you.
Yeah.
I choose you. And everybody wants to feel chosen.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody does. And he's had an opportunity to choose many people. And he continues to choose me. And he continues, nobody else would have let me play Linda Tripp. Nobody. I don't look like her at all.
No.
I don't, nobody in the world, I mean, nobody would have let me do that. And I had the creative experience of my life doing that. So like, my gratitude to him knows no bounds, and his belief in me, he just continues to, it's not like someone going, I believe in you. He's like, I believe in you. Do this. And I'm, and there's this like huge production governed around his belief that I can do a thing. And it's like, it's an incredibly galvanizing, empowering feeling to have someone like that say, you, off the bench, on the field. Yeah. And that's the only difference between, any actor from another is some other person saying you, because it's about your opportunity.
Right.
And he continues to give me opportunity, which means I continue to get to like hone my craft and work on what I do and find new ways to do things and continue to be employed and make a living and have more opportunity because I'm doing things that people want to watch, and then they want to have me in this thing. And, it's just been the enormous, the most collaborative, fruitful experience and productive relationship of my life, creatively, for sure.
Yeah.
And also personally, like we've had our real beautiful, beautiful friendship story that has had its ups and its downs and its ups and its downs. And that's how I know it's real.
Yeah.
And to your point about the friendships that come and go, and like, we've had our moments where we weren't talking, we've had our moments where we were talking, and we've had our moments where we were like deeply in love with one another, and moments where we're working on other things, and then we come back together, and there is just such a kind of grown up solidity to it now. It is so solid, and so, but partly because it had its cracks and breaks.
Well, it's malleable in that way, right?
And it's
flexible.
It's like something on a shelf, and in an earthquake, it's like it's not going to crack anymore.
Yeah,
it's not going to fall and crack.
What a safety! What a nice feeling of safety.
And to have that creatively, but also, I talk about my working experience with him a lot, but there's also a very beautiful friendship component that, like, I can talk to him about anything. There's nothing I can say about myself or any take I have on anything or anything I would reveal, to him that he wouldn't go, I get that.
Oh,
and that is a really special thing to have that also connects with a creative partnership.
He's so sensitive. He's in a
beautiful way. And people don't know that about him. And that is a real truth. And if you really know him, that is a real big piece of his soul. And I've seen more of that than not. And so I know what his heart is, and I know what his soul is, and I know how boundless his creative energy is, and how boundless
he's so prolific.
It's so prolific, and boundless his heart is, really. And he just... So what's
the magic that brought you into All's Fair?
The magic that brought
Carrington
me
Lane.
God.
The producers and I were like, Dynasty.
Yes, that's really right.
Yeah,
that's right. When he first told me my name, I was like, Carrington?
Yeah.
You're going to call me, and I get called Carr in the show.
Oh,
they call me Carr.
okay.
And I'm like, well, why is my name Carrington and people aren't calling me Car?
Yeah.
They're calling me Carr. I don't know, but that's what they do. They call me Carr. My name in the show is Carr. Carrington Lane, but Carr. It came about because I was doing the play, and Ryan came to see the play, and he was like, hey, I have this idea. And Kim and he were already doing the show, and Glenn had come on, and he was like, we're cooking up this character, and would you want to do it? And I was, I had been doing the play for almost a year, and I'd been in New York for a long time, and was like, I should probably think about doing something on television or in a film, because this has been a long time, and I've been unable to do anything else while I've done the play, and I was really tired, and he just was like, come do this. And so I did. And I just said yes. I don't think Ryan has ever asked me to do something I've said no to.
Okay. Wow.
I don't think so.
Wow.
I don't think so.
Yeah. And is it that there's, like, you see what he sees, or you just trust him?
I just trust him. I don't always see what he sees.
Okay. I
just know that he knows. And when I see something on the page, I don't know how to explain it. I don't know, but like this character I'm playing on this thing is a real doozy. Talk about a cunt. This woman is a see you next Tuesday.
Yeah.
But with a real dose of heartbreak.
Okay.
So some of her sort of what we've been talking about, some of what is governing her behavior, audiences will learn the why of it.
Okay.
She's not just a villain.
Right. Okay.
She's a villain, and she's not like a villain with a heart of gold. She's just a human being.
Right.
And so some of the behavior, and she's really complex.
Yeah.
And,
tell me what I feel like I know a little about the show, but I don't know.
It essentially is a show about an all-female law firm, but I am not part of that law firm. I am outside that law firm, and hence there lies some of the friction. They represent only women, and I don't have that edict. Yeah. I will represent anyone, basically.
Okay.
I wouldn't say I'm a bottom feeder, because I'm not. She's very, very good at her job, but she is very interested in bringing that company down for reasons that will be revealed when you watch the show. But it was really an incredibly, it's quite a roster of powerhouse ladies. And it's really was a very wild, and the show is wild.
Right.
I cannot stress to you how wild it is. It is like candy to eat and a carnival to look at. Color and fashion and, it's like, it's a feast for your eyes, and it's just.
Like the Gilded Age?
Well, the Gilded Age, I don't watch the Gilded Age.
I only started watching the whole thing a few months ago. Yeah. And so I binged. It was great. I just binged the whole thing. And I did costume design in high school.
You did?
I did.
See, if I had been playing you, I would know that. I'd have to ask Beanie about that.
Yes,
she probably
exactly.
knew about that.
And she would tell you the drama teacher told me.
Oh, no, I knew about the drama teacher, but I didn't
No, not that drama teacher.
Different drama teacher.
Female drama teacher who told me I was better on the other side of the footlights. So that was,
Did you want to be an actress? You did. For a second.
I wanted to be a musical theater actress. I still love musical theater. So
Do you sing?
I used to sing. I don't sing anymore.
You don't have like a theme song?
It doesn't have words, our theme song.
Yeah, but it could be like, you could hum it.
I think maybe not.
Okay, well,
but
I'm just saying.
I sing in the shower.
I'm just saying that maybe an album is what we all need. We might need a Lewinsky album. Listen, people have been singing songs about you for a long time.
Yeah.
Why don't you take back the night and
I'm going to do my own rap album.
Do your own rap album. That'd be amazing.
There you go. Yeah. Exactly. And I'm just going to crib everybody else's lyrics.
Yeah, exactly. Why not?
Yeah. So the last question I ask everyone is there anything right now that you are currently working on reclaiming? So, and that could be a person, an aspect of your identity, a place, a thing.
I think, even if it's, I don't know that it's entirely conscious, but it seems to me the very thing I was saying to you a few minutes ago about walking up my walkway going, why do I have to react the way that I react to X, Y, and Z thing ever? Why can't I be different? I think I am working on reclaiming the idea that where I am and what I'm doing is absolutely fine and enough. And the prospect of investigating all that is going to be a lifelong journey, and trying to kind of, reclaim some of my, I think a conversation that I've been having a lot also with Amanda is about like reclaiming our joy.
Yeah.
Because there's so much, it's really hard given what's going on in the world. And at the same time also like, we know a lot of people who like, we're at that age now where it's like, so-and-so has cancer. This person's going through this. This person's getting divorced. This person, and all of a sudden it's like, whoa, this person's a friend of mine's brother died. And it's just like we keep sort of going, wait a minute. Slow down. Where can we go where we try to have some fun?
Disneyland.
Yeah. Like, let's have some fun.
Yeah.
And whatever fun looks like to us. And, stop working on releasing a little bit of this have to stuff.
Yeah.
Or it should look like X, or it should look like Y, or this is what joy looks like, and this is what, it's like sort of trying to.
Right. I know it's getting out of the head.
Yeah.
It's getting out of the head.
Yeah.
It's, I get it. I find myself more and more sort of saying in therapy of like, that's not going to get work done. Like, you're 100% right, and it's not high enough on my list.
Right, but that's sort of like recognizing that where you are in this current moment allows for this thing to happen, but not this thing. And creating space for a little bit of air around this. Doing this kind of self-work, I feel, whether you're asking yourself questions or the self-reflection or whatever it is exhausting. It's exhausting. It's tiring. Yeah. It's also fortifying and all the other things too, but it's hard. Yeah. It's hard to look in the mirror and really deal with yourself sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, fuck yeah.
It's hard.
I mean, I also, my friendipist also has to remind me often. She's amazing. Hi, Peggy. She used to remind me so often of like, give yourself integration time, because I'm always sort of, okay, well, asking more and more questions and digging deeper and all the things. And it's like, right, but when am I giving myself and my soul and my psyche and my body all time to kind of go, okay, here's where we are now.
Yeah, and letting it integrate is so, I'm going to steal that.
Yeah.
Integration time.
Yeah. It's also, I think maybe you and Amanda should have a joy party.
Yeah, we should.
I hate parties, but I would come to that.
I don't like a party. We've talked about this.
Yeah,
parties are hard.
I know. But your 50th was pretty.
That was fun.
That was pretty epic.
Although it was hard for me. Like, there were so many people I didn't get to talk to.
Yeah.
It was, I
was very starstruck at that party.
You were?
I was. It was like.
By who?
So many people there. It was Cynthia Erivo. I sort of made a weirdo of myself, and
I don't think she would think that.
I like scene in Wicked and the shame, and
I'm
you
sure it
captured
meant-
the public humiliation. She was probably like, who is this person?
No, I'm sure she's
whatever.
the most wonderful person on earth. So I'm sure she.
It was great, and I still have your matches.
You do?
I do.
I
I'm
love when
like,
people tell me that.
Oh yeah. I wish
You
I
wanna
had
tell the
taken more,
people what
but
it
they're
says?
they're.
You know what it says?
I remember the part on the front of Paulson's 50th,
And
but on the
it said,
back,
this old bitch loves you.
yes, it's so good.
It's good.
And on that note,
Yeah.
this old bitch loves you
This
too.
old bitch loves you right back.
Aw, thank you, Sarah.
you.
This was so great.
I'm so glad to talk to you about all the things.